Namaste, welcome to Geeta's Kitchen. On the 6th of July, this year we will be celebrating the important occasion of Ashada Ekadasi. Ekadasi means the 11th day of the fortnight, and the bright fortnight 11th day of the month of Ashada, the Hindu month of Ashada, which falls in June, July. This Ekadashi is a very auspicious one. It is celebrated all over India, and especially in Maharashtra, people come from thousands of kilometers on a pilgrimage to Panduranga. They are called as the Varkaris, and they go on this yatra carrying their palanquins or the palkis of all the great saints like Namdev, Tukaram, Muktabai and so on. And even in Andhra, it is celebrated as Toli Ekadashi in the south. So whichever way, it is celebrated with a lot of devotion and fervor, and this marks the beginning of the Chaturmasya. That is we can call it as the rainy season or the period of 4 months, when it is believed that God Vishnu goes into his Yoga Nidra or cosmic sleep. So during this period, people observe fast and lot of rituals, and they abstain from certain grains and cereals and certain spices and some vegetables, onion, garlic and so on. So when I was thinking of Panduranga, this year the story which came to my mind was the story of Pundalik. In olden days, it is said that in Maharashtra there is a place called Dindivana, and there lived a simple couple, very pious, leading a simple and holy life, named as Janudev and Satyavati. They had a young son called as Pundalik, and he grew up to be a smart young boy who took care of his parents, and he also was equally devoted to Lord Krishna, just as his parents were. Soon Pundalik grew up, and it was he reached marriageable age, and they found a suitable girl for him. But then once Pundalik grew up and got married, the story goes that his attitude towards his parents started changing. He started showing less respect to them, and both husband and wife would make the old parents do a lot of work for them, and the parents were troubled by this change in attitude or behavior of their son Pundalik. But they were helpless because they were staying along with him. So the mother used to do all the domestic chores of sweeping and mopping and cleaning utensils, and the father would be sent on other such errands, while both the husband and wife, they sat down and enjoyed their life. So one day the parents grew totally fed up of this behavior, and they said, we cannot take it anymore. They felt very sad by this treatment, and they decided to go on a pilgrimage to Kashi. And going to Kashi was a long journey. Those days they had to go by foot and on horseback and so on bullock carts and so on. So at that time, when Pundalik's wife came to know about this, immediately she said, no, why should only your parents go to Kashi? Why can't we also go to Kashi? We will also go with them. But then I may not be able to walk so much distance. What will I do? So then Pundalik said, you can come on a horseback. Then what will your parents do? Let them walk behind. They are used to hard work anyhow, no? So they will come walking. So those days people used to go in large groups. So Pundalik and his wife used to sit comfortably on the horse, and his poor parents trudged along. Other people in the group used to watch them, but because they were well aware of the haughty and arrogant nature of Pundalik and his wife. So they went along quietly, and they went to Kashi and visited the various temples, and they were started on the return journey. So while they were returning, it's a long journey which will take many months. So when they were coming, they used to stay at certain ashrams, rest for 3 or 4 days, have some food, and then proceed. They could not walk continuously every day. So as they were returning, one day they stayed in the ashram of Kakutamani, and everybody was tired and went to sleep. That night, Pundalik suddenly woke up with the sound of anklets. He said, what is this? And he got up. And to his surprise, he saw three beautiful young women, but their clothes were very dirty. They entered the ashram of this Kakutamuni, and they did all the chores for that house. They cleaned and swept the place, they washed the utensils, they washed his clothes and took care of him. And when they came out, to his surprise, their clothes were all sparkling and beautiful like new, and they quietly went away. Pundalik was surprised. He said, "What is this I am seeing?" Now again the next night also, he saw the same thing, the same three beautiful young women coming, going into the ashram of Kukutamuni and doing all these chores for him. And when they came out in dazzling bright clothes. Now Pundalik could not hold himself any longer. So he said, "Let me see, tonight I must find out what is the mystery behind this." So on the third night, he was hoping that those women would come again. And when they came, he asked them, "Excuse me, I've been seeing you coming every night. You're coming in dirty clothes and going into the Muni's ashram and doing all the seva. That is, you are doing all the chores for him, helping him so much. And when you come out, you're coming out with bright, dazzling clothes. What is the mystery behind this? Who are you? I would like to know." And then they told him, "We are none other than the rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. People from all over the country come and take a dip in our waters to rid themselves of their sins. And because of that, our clothes become dirty. So we come to Kukutammuni's ashram and serve him with lot of love and affection because we regard him as our father, and service to one's parents absolves you of all the sins. So whatever others who have bathed in our rivers and we have become soiled, now all that disappears once we do service for Kukutamuni at his ashram, and that is why we come here every night due to respect for our sage whom we regard as our father." And then they look at him very frowningly and scolding, "But you are the greatest sinner. Look at the way you treat your parents. Aren't you ashamed of your behavior?" And they walk away. Now when Pundalik hears this, somebody reprimanding him directly onto his face, he feels very bad and he starts thinking, "Oh, what have I done?" And his mind goes back to the memories of his childhood days, of how much his parents had sacrificed for him and how affectionate they are to him, and how he has changed over the years. His mind is filled with remorse, and he feels that he must have a change in attitude. So throughout the night, Pundalik has been feeling very bad, heart filled with remorse, and doesn't know how to make amends. And by the time it is early morning, and Kakutamuni comes out from his ashram and he is going towards the river for his morning bath and other things. And then he sees Pundalik and says, "Pundalik, what happened to you? Why are you standing alone here? And why are you so moved? Why are you crying?" And Pundalik breaks down at his feet and cries inconsolably. He says, "I have done a grave mistake. I have not taken care of my parents. And you know what? Past 3 nights I have been observing something at your ashram. I used to find these 3 beautiful young women come into your ashram, do so much of service for you, and when they go out in dazzling bright clothes." Kakutamuni understood what had happened. He said, "Yes, my dear Pundalik, what you say is absolutely true. And they regard me as their father, and they come and do all the service for me with so much dedication that whatever sins which other people have committed and when they bathed in those rivers might have come on them, they are all washed away, beautiful and clean, just because of the service they have rendered to me." So then Pundalik says, "But oh Muni, I have done a lot of mistakes in my life so far. I have treated my parents very shabbily. I don't know whether they will even pardon me." And then Kakutamuni says, "Now that you have realized your mistake, don't worry at all. It is only parents who give unconditional love. So even when you treated them badly, they did not say a word to you. They continued doing whatever you asked them to do, with the hope that possibly someday you might change for the better. And definitely they will love you all the more, so don't have any doubt on that. Your parents will shower lot of love and affection on you. So good that you have had a change in mind. Now go back happily and start treating your parents well. And then Pundalik is very happy. He goes back and to where his parents are staying, and he starts doing a lot of service for them. He helps them with their food. He presses their legs when they need to sleep. He brings water for them. His wife is surprised. Parents are also surprised. And he tells his wife also, he makes her understand that this is how you should behave from now on. What we have done so far was very wrong. Let us make amends. Luckily, she also agrees. And the parents are also very happy. And now this time the parents sit on horseback and these people go along and giving them all the help on the way. This continues, and the people of the village are so pleasantly surprised to see this positive change in both Pundalik and his wife, and they become the talk of the town. Pundalik continues to serve his parents, and slowly the parents are also aging. Lord Krishna is watching all this, and he thinks that he must showcase Pundalik's devotion to everyone. So now Pundalik not only serves his parents, he also has come back to be a great devotee of Lord Krishna too. So one day, while Pundalik is sitting on the floor, massaging his father's feet till he goes to sleep, his wife is taking care of his mother, and there is a knock on the door. And Pundalik just looks behind and says, "Who is it?" And he says, "I am Krishna." Pundalik just looks through the gap in the door, and there he finds Krishna himself standing with beautiful fish-shaped earrings, sandal tilak on his forehead, a beautiful yellow color dhoti around his waist, and he says, "Pundalik, I have come to meet you." And Pundalik says, "I know you have come, but I cannot come immediately. I am now busy tending to my parents, serving my parents, pressing my father's feet, and you have to wait." And after a few minutes, again Krishna calls out, "Pundalik, I am waiting for you. Do you know who I am?" Krishna thinks maybe he does not realize who I am. And Pundalik says, "Yes, Krishna, I know who you are. I know you are Dwarkadish. I know you are Vaikuntadish. But I cannot come now. I am serving my parents." So he takes a brick nearby and he just pushes it towards Krishna. He says, "Krishna, you please stand on the brick and wait for a few minutes till I finish my job and come." Remember, it was the rainy season, and the floor outside the hut might have been very wet. So he just keeps the brick there and tells Krishna, "You please stand on that brick and wait." And Krishna stands with his hands on his hips, standing on the brick, waiting patiently for Pundalik to come. Pundalik presses his father's feet, gives him his food to eat, puts him to sleep, and quietly, just as we would do if there were a baby and we were putting him to sleep, quietly, without making a noise, he comes to joyfully receive Krishna, and he apologizes profusely. He says, "Oh Krishna, oh Lord Krishna, you have come to meet me. Please forgive me. I apologize profusely. I was serving my parents, and that is why I had to make you wait. Kindly forgive me." And Krishna just hugs him, and he says, "Pundalik, there is no need for any apology over here. What you have done serving your parents is much more than serving me, than serving God himself. I am really very proud of how you are serving your parents. I am very happy with you." And then Krishna says, "Okay, Pundalik, I am so happy that you are serving your parents so well. Now ask me of any boon and I will give to you." Pundalik says, "What do I want, O Lord? You yourself have come and given me darshan. a poor devotee of me, and the Lord has come to see me. What more do I want? My life is made. I don't need anything. Krishna says, no, I am so happy with your devotion. You must ask for something. And then Pundalik thinks, oh, this is Dwarkadish Krishna himself. He can make even the impossible come true. And he says, okay, Krishna, if you insist, I will ask for something. He says, okay. Krishna says, come, tell me what you want. He says, you know, that river flowing nearby, I would like you to just bring it nearer to my hut. Just allow it to flow, make a curve and come this side. And then Krishna says, what are you asking? Why do you want that to be done? He says, you know, Krishna, my father is too old to walk now. He needs a lot of help. Sometimes I might even have to carry him and go, or help him. He has to come slowly hobbling along to the river bank to take his bath, and I have to take him back. I don't want my father to be troubled at all by all this. So if the river comes nearer to the house, it will be helpful for my father, isn't it? And Krishna says, now he has given his word, he cannot say no. He says, okay, Pundalik, done. Now that river will change its course and it will flow from near your hut, so that it will be easy for you to take your father to give him a bath or whatever other jobs you may have. And Pundalik is very, very happy. There is a story which says that is how that river got the name as Chandra Bhaga. Chandra is moon. So in the shape of a crescent moon. So the river flows like that. So then Krishna says, okay, Pundalik, done. The river will flow your way only. And he says, okay, thank you very much, Krishna. Krishna says, that is not enough. Ask something for him. When I asked you and I promised you a boon, you have only asked for your father. Ask something for yourself, Pundalik. I am so happy with you. I am so happy with the great devotion and the way you are serving your parents. And Pundalik thinks a lot and he says, okay, Krishna, there is just one thing which I want you to do. Krishna says, yes, Pundalik, I am all ears, I am listening. Tell me what you want. And Pundalik says, you know, the way you are standing now on this brick with the hands on your hips like this, I want you to be I want you to be standing here always like this for generations to come, so that all the devotees may come towards you and pray to you and get your blessings too. And Krishna says, now it is a wish of a devotee. Krishna cannot refuse, and he says, done. To this day in Pandurpur, you will see the image of Vithoba or Vithala of Krishna standing like this with his hands on his hips. He is standing on a brick. You remember the brick which Pundalik just pushed aside for Krishna to stand on, with the sandal tilak, his fish-shaped earrings, and the lovely pitambaram around his waist. What more can one ask for? Where the Lord is waiting for devotees, for everyone, for me, for you, for everyone. And all we have to do is go and seek him and meet him. It is really an amazing sight to see all these Varkaris traveling hundreds of kilometers towards Pandurpur for this Ashada Ekadasi, and they observe fasting, and through the night they sing even through the journey, they sing the famous Marathi abhangs, beautiful compositions by the different saints, and all of them totally immersed in their devotion to Krishna, Panduranga. Vittala Vittala Panduranga, Jai Hari Vittala Panduranga. So these are stories which I have listened to many number of times right from my childhood. But every time you listen to them, it makes you it is so engrossing. You know what the story is, but even then every time it fills you with so much emotion. And parents today, when you bring up your children also, bring them up with all these devotional stories, so that right from a young age they learn the importance of taking care of their parents and are brought up with good values in life. Sometimes it so happens that during the young age, when you're in your 30s or 40s, you may not realize the importance of all this. And you are growing in your career and thinking of making money and things like that. And then when you reach an age, when you realize how much your parents have done, it just might be too late. So start by taking care of your parents. At least every day talk to them, ask them how they are. That is enough. That's all parents want. And they are very happy that you have asked them, and their blessings are always with the children. That is the unconditional love of parents for their children. Vittala Vittala Panduranga. Vittala actually means Vit in Marathi. Vit means the brick. Thala means the person standing on place, like Thal. Vittala. So Krishna in the form of Vithoba or Vittal with Rahumai. Krishna is standing on that brick with his hands on his hips, waiting for his devotees and ever ready to bless them. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to Geeta's Kitchen, and may Lord Vittala bless us all.